Hello, I am so excited to film a purchase or pass today. I wasn't filming these for a while there, but I posted one last month. You guys really liked it, so I want to get these back into a more consistent rotation so we can chat about some new makeup launches. And there are some weird things to discuss, so why don't we just jump right into it? First of all, this is less of a launch, more of just, well, I mean, it's kind of a launch, but more so news. There is a new incubator from the creators of Too Faced. So you're probably very familiar with the name Jared Blandino and Jeremy Johnson. They created Too Faced a long time ago. I actually did a full video about the story of Too Faced. I covered them in my Rise and Fall series. So I can leave that below. Also, I'm working on my next Rise and Fall. Let me know which brands you want to see. I'm kind of thinking KKW, but let me know your thoughts. But anyways, they started a brand incubator, which I've also done a video about. It's an older video. It's pretty old actually, but I can leave it linked down below also. And a brand incubator is basically an all-in-one company that makes a bunch of other brands. So this is called Toy Box. It is from Jared and Jeremy. They're planning to launch 2 brands a year for the next 8 to 10 years. Starting with these brands, Diamond Drunk and Polite Society. Here's the thing. These brand incubators, I don't know, some of these brands, something about just the way they're produced, sometimes it feels like they lack a little bit of inspiration, and it makes sense if they're coming from a larger company whose only purpose is to pump out a bunch of brands. It's hard to really have a ton of originality there. It's like, yes, there are so many benefits to a brand incubator and having everything on site, working with someone who knows the industry really well, like Jared and Jeremy, but I can't say I'm excited to see what comes of this. It's not like I'm like, oh my gosh, we were really missing this in this space. Like, wow, they're going to bring something new. I don't know. I don't really see that, but I will be intrigued by it. You know, they're pretty notable people in the industry, so I think it is relevant and interesting news, but I can't say I'm like too excited about it really. Let me know your thoughts though. Let's talk about 2 palettes that when I saw these, I was like, didn't those already launch? So the first one, when I saw this, please tell me you also thought that this was the Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette, which is actually what is on my eyes today. Haven't used Mini Retro in a while, brought it out today. You saw me grab this in my last Shop My Stash video, so I can leave that link down below. But today was like my first day really digging into that new stash from my Shop My Stash, because before this, I was in Michigan. I just got back yesterday. So when I go to Michigan, I barely bring any makeup. And today I was like, I gotta do full glam. I haven't really done makeup in a week. I wanna have some fun. So you're probably laughing. If you're like a full glam person, you're probably laughing like, Kelly, this is your version of having fun. You're just wearing soft pinks on your eyes. But anyways, if you were to look at my eyes and you were to look at this palette, you would probably think it was created by the same thing, right? This, I don't know. I have felt this way about so many of the Natasha Denona minis where I look at them and I'm like, this is just so similar to other Natasha Denona palettes. And something about this one in particular, it is just so light. There is such little range here. It is very, very soft. And I felt similarly about Mini Retro, but at least it had that silver and the gray to kind of ground it and balance it out a bit. But this, I feel like, even in the swatches, like it does not seem like it would work on a deeper skin tone. Even from what you're seeing in the swatches, like it kind of doesn't. But you know what gets me about these Natasha Denona minis? I will be so uninterested just based on like the actual palette in the pans. And then I see these. Hopefully I'm pointing the direction that Editing Kelly is going to put these on the screen. Sometimes I think I know, and then I watch it back and it's like flipped like a mirror and I'm pointing the wrong way. But I see these photos of the eyeshadow looks and I'm like, wait, that's so pretty. But look at this. I could create this with the Mini Retro, and I will. I should try to recreate this with Mini Retro. Maybe that'll be a challenge. Okay, so that was the first one that I saw and thought, wait, didn't that already launch? This is the second one. This is a new palette from Kylie Cosmetics. I thought this was the bronzed palette, and then I had to look at it and I saw, oh no, this is fully matte. That's the only difference. And I own the bronze palette. Funny enough, the only shades in that palette I like are the mattes, and I only hold on to it for the mattes. So I'm like, dang, I wish I had this palette instead, because I like her mattes, but I don't think the Kylie shimmers are very good. This feels like she was trying to come for that like all matte Makeup by Mario palette. I mean, don't get me wrong, an all matte neutral palette is nothing new. It's not just a Makeup by Mario thing, but something about this color story, I can't say it's brand new, but you know what I will say? I am a sucker for this type of palette. I love an all matte look. I love neutrals. I love neutral browns. So even though you're probably looking at this thinking it's so boring, I'm like, wait a minute. That is a palette I could get down with. That being said, I don't need it, so I'm going to probably skip it, but I think it's really pretty. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I'm curious to hear your take on this. Every year, I don't know if it just feels like it happens earlier every year or if it actually happens earlier every year, but I really feel like the seasonal launches just come up like a week earlier every single time, because we just saw this launch from Tree Hut with the pumpkin collection. And I'm not going to pretend I'm not a pumpkin spice girly, because I am. But I'm also a summer girly, and summer, it doesn't even feel like summer has started, if I'm being completely honest, because it's just been like raining every day. I don't even feel like I've had a summer yet. So now that I'm seeing these fall themed launches in the middle of July, I'm like, this feels criminal. I mean, they're not all fall. Like some of them, they've got a boba one, they've got an iced coffee one, but just seeing all the pumpkin and pumpkin spice ones, when it is time for that, I'm going to be very excited, but I'm just not ready yet. And this has me, I'm already like, okay, when are we going to see the first holiday launch? Because every year they come a little bit earlier. Let me know your guesses down below. When do you think the first brand is going to tell us their holiday launch? Because I feel like it's going to be August. Like we only have a few more weeks, unfortunately, and they're going to start dropping teasers. A summer theme collection I can get down with that is actually like summery in the summer is this from e.l.f. Honestly, do I think any of the actual product seems interesting? No. Am I into this solely for the packaging? Yes. This is from e.l.f. It is their Berry Hot Drop. Surprisingly, I have heard like nothing about this. And I feel like e.l.f. launches get a ton of buzz. I don't know if it's because this is a bit more themed and limited. I'm not sure if that's why, but I really haven't seen much about this. And it's so cute from the packaging. That being said, nothing from the actual products is super interesting or really calling to me. The palette, I don't know, it has the bright red blush, which I think is pretty, very trendy right now. I love the strawberry shaped things. Let me know if this is something that you were interested in. Okay, this I thought was a joke. I feel like I'm being kind of negative. After this, we'll pick something I'm excited about, okay, to talk about. Yeah. At first I was like, is there anything I'm excited about? Yes, there is. We will get there. Too Faced came out with Pop Tart palettes. I kid you not, when I saw this, I was like, wait, what month is this? And I like, in my head, had to think about, is this an April Fool's Day joke? And I'm not even joking, like genuinely. I was like, Too Faced? It's not that I think a Pop Tart themed palette is weird. I mean, it is weird, but it's not that that should be unexpected, because we have seen everything. What's unexpected for me is that it's Too Faced. If you would have told me like, oh, Glam Light Pop Tarts, I'd be like, yep, that tracks. But I was like, Too Faced Pop Tarts. I didn't see that one coming. You know what the worst part is? I kind of think this is cute. I don't know the last time I had a Pop Tart. Actually, I do. I distinctively remember eating a Pop Tart in my old apartment, the apartment I was in before this. I remember being at the store and I came across the s'mores ones. No, chocolate chip ones. And I got it. I hadn't had them in years. I kind of do love Pop Tarts, though. I try not to eat them for obvious reasons, but I don't know. These are kind of cute. I'm not going to get it, but I don't hate it. Okay, so as I said, we'll talk about something that I'm excited about. The Haus Labs foundation. This has been on my list. I really do want to try this. And I've heard just the best things about this. I don't think I've really heard any negative reviews on this. I have only heard people that love this. But what is new is that they're coming out with a try before you buy kit. And I think this is pretty neat. It's a discovery kit. So initially you go onto their website and you pay for shipping, which is $5.95. You get 3 deluxe samples. And from there, you can hopefully figure out your best shade, which is great. And then you have a 21-day trial period to order the foundation. If you do not order it, you will be charged $12 for the set at the end of the trial period. So I kind of like this. I'm almost tempted to try this, and I don't even know if I need the full-size bottle. I don't know how much comes in these minis, but I really think this is a great idea. And I wish more brands offered something similar to this, because actually, I guess you could do something similar. You could go into Sephora and say, hey, can I have a sample in this size, or this shade, and this shade, and then take it home? Because sometimes even getting shade matched in store, it'll get you pretty close. But I almost feel like I like to wear the foundation in a few different lighting environments, try it out a few times, because there have been times where I have shade matched in store, thought it seemed right, and then I buy it and I'm like, no, this isn't right. Let me know your thoughts. Like I said, you could just kind of do your own version of this, go into the store and get a few different shades to test out, and then come back and decide if you like it and buy the full size. But also maybe if you don't have a Sephora accessible to you, I think this is a neat idea. Okay, I'm kind of intrigued by this from Sol de Janeiro. I always love their scents, and they came out with a new body wash. I feel like lately I have been enjoying like the luxury of a shower. That sounds gross. Let me explain. I just mean, for the most part, I was never into like, oh, I have to have this fantastic experience with a really great smelling body wash. For me, it was just like, I'm getting in the shower to get clean, obviously. But lately, I feel like I've been kind of just like relishing in my shower time, using products that feel a bit more luxurious, being a little bit extra, and especially like really nice body scrubs and like shower gels that smell nice. I don't know, it just feels like some me time. It's a cherry scent, which isn't always my preference, but I'm kind of intrigued by this. So this is going to be coming soon on August 1st. So I'm interested. Okay, this is confusing to me. I don't know if I understand it, but Tarte just launched the Key Largo Glow, which appears to be probably inspired by the Drunk Elephant bronzer drops, which we'll talk about those soon because they have a new product. But I am so confused by this, and I'm confused by Tarte because this is a few times now that they have very clearly and intentionally duped another high-end brand, but then the Tarte version is sitting at a similar price point. So that's where I'm like, I don't know about that, because I really feel like 2023 has been the year of dupes. Like that has been the theme with launches this year, duping everything and like boldly duping things, no shame, shamelessly duping everything. But it's mostly been drugstore brands doing it. And then Tarte. Like when Tarte had the dupes for the Charlotte Tilbury face sticks, they were like a few dollars less, or like the wands, you know what I'm talking about. And now this. I really feel like this is maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this just happens to be a liquid bronzer. Other brands have been doing it too. But something about these glow boosting drops, this feels so heavily inspired by the Drunk Elephant ones. And they're basically the same price. Let me know your thoughts. But let's talk about these from Charlotte Tilbury. I know a lot of people are excited about these. They're just not my jam, but I can see where the excitement is coming from. So these are blush sticks. They come in a lot of different shades. I just cannot get down with blush sticks. I would say that is my least favorite type of blush. If I had to rank them, top, you know me, it would be a powder blush. And then maybe liquid, and then a cream in a pan. But like once we start getting into creams in a stick, in theory, they seem so user-friendly, but I find them to be the opposite. I find cream products in a stick are almost harder to use because rarely do they work well without messing with my foundation. So I end up just picking it up on a brush, and then I'm like, okay, well, this would have been better suited to be in a pan so I could actually dip my brush in. They're just, I can never get down with a cream stick cheek product. There are so few that I like. I'm like really, really picky. So these, they just don't call to me, even though I know everyone is really pumped about these. I've heard good things. If Charlotte Tilbury were to launch like new powder blushes, I think I would be eager. But these, I don't know, not for me. Ooh, okay, the Drunk Elephant one I was gonna talk about. These are the new B-Goldi. This is kind of like the de-bronzy, but a glowy version. I feel like this type of product has been popular for a few years now. We've got all the glowy sunscreens, the Supergoop one, the e.l.f. one. We've got the Charlotte Tilbury primer. We've got the e.l.f. one. And now Drunk Elephant has one too. So these have 5% niacinamide, which my skin does love niacinamide so much. So I've been like, maybe. But I just don't find myself gravitating to these glowy type of products. Probably because I'm a matte girly. I like my base to look matte. I feel like for me, if I'm wanting to add glow, I don't necessarily like doing it in my primer step, but I would imagine that this product will be pretty popular, especially just based on the success already of the bronzer version of this. I think that the highlighter version makes sense. And now they kind of have the whole thing. They've got the bronzer version, they've got the highlighter version, and they have the blush version. I almost wish they would do these as a sunscreen. I mean, yes, we already have something pretty similar on the market with like the Supergoop, the e.l.f. A lot of other brands have similar ones, but I would actually love to see that from Drunk Elephant instead, maybe even within this line. I have seen everybody talking about this new skin tint from Hourglass, and funny enough, I was not that intrigued by this, but I feel like it has been flooding my feed. I've been seeing it everywhere. I've heard some pretty good reviews on it, so that at least has me tempted. But if there's one thing I do not need, it is another skin tint. Like, I have enough. Maybe at some point in my life I will buy this, but right now I'm really trying to pull back on foundations and kind of work through what I have. So I'm intrigued by this, but I'm probably not going to pick it up. Okay, Ilia is coming out with a cleanser. And okay, funny enough, when a skincare brand launches makeup, I am pumped. When a makeup brand launches skincare, I'm not interested. I don't know. Ilia, if anything, I feel like they make a little bit more sense launching a skincare product, but I think I would have been a lot more excited to see some other makeup product coming out from Ilia versus a cleanser. Okay, also in the dupe realm, I don't know that this was necessarily intended to dupe the Pixie ones, but these are new from Florence by Mills, and they come in these little like deodorant roll-up sticks. You know, they're not the only brand to do this. Flower Beauty has a similar product in the roll-up stick, but these remind me so much of the Pixie version that's been so popular lately. But these are called Cheeky Pop Blush Sticks. For me, Florence by Mills has been a very hit or miss brand. I have a few products from them that I think are very good, but then the ones that are bad, I think are pretty bad, pretty overpriced. And the funniest thing to me is this promo photo right here with Millie Bobby Brown holding the stick. I don't see any blush on her cheeks, and I don't know if they're more so showcasing that you can wear it on your lips because it appears that she's wearing that color on her lips, but I'm like, I want to see this on your cheeks. I will say though, I do kind of like the shades. This might be shocking. I feel like I've gone through a journey with my blush preferences in the last few years, because for a while there it was like I was really into the bright pinks, the bold red, the peaches, and I still love all of those. But lately, you know what I'm really gravitating to these days? A Barely There blush. That's like basically nude, almost like a bronzer. Pretty subtle. And that's what like those first 3 shades look like to me. So I'm like, oh, those are pretty. I don't need any more blushes. I probably never need another blush for the rest of my life. So I can't say that these call me in enough to feel the need to buy them. But I think I've said intrigued too many times in this video, so I'm really trying to think of a synonym here. Interested? No, that's too close. Watching? I'm watching? That's kind of creepy, but okay. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below if you plan to pick any of these up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will go ahead and see you in my next video. Bye!